How is everybody doing today? And in this video, we are going to talk about our upcoming banners that we're going to have in Heaven Burns Red. And for the most part, especially with how long we've had the current banner, which is going to be the Yuina and Tama banner. If you haven't already decided what to pull for, or if you're really looking forward to understanding how the Tojo and Karin banner are going to impact your account, well, today we're going to talk about all the characters that are either currently here, what we're going to see in a quick moment with us getting the Tojo and Karin banner very soon, and then also another banner that we should be looking at because of how close it's going to be. So realistically, what we're looking at right now with Tojo and Karin, this is overall going to be a very high value banner, and this is going to depend on what's in your box, how much value it actually is going to give to you. Looking at Tojo specifically, she's going to be giving us a brand new light zone that we don't currently have in Heaven Burns Red at the current moment, and I think she will be the first zoner that has the stronger version of it. Right now, currently in Heaven Burns Red, we do have one light character that is going to give us a zone, and that is going to be our Mia. Mia has a zone that most of the other characters have currently in the game that is basically infinite as soon as you pop it, and it does give a boost to all light attackers or all light characters on your team. This Tojo specifically is going to give us a stronger version of that zone, but it only lasts for 8 turns. 8 turns is a pretty long time, so that shouldn't be a problem, but it isn't infinite like the one we have with most of the other fielders in the game. This one is also going to give you a crit damage up and also crit rate up. The only thing is that it is frontline, so they will have to be on the front end of the team. Whether you have a buff on your character to allow them to soak up the buff but not really use it, you might have to play around with that in regards to either buffing them out, giving them some type of orb skill so that they kind of skip their turn, or you're gonna have to use this Tojo right before you do your move. So that is something to make note of, that she doesn't give it to the whole team, she only gives it to the front line. But this will be our strongest light zoner for quite some time in Heaven Burns Red. And not only that, you also get a 6 skill point move, which is going to allow frontline attack up. So yes, you're gonna want some type of way of not attacking, that way you can give them all these buffs. You want to give them that light attack up buff, you want to give them the crit rate, crit damage buff alongside the zone as well. So there's going to be some different play styles you're going to have to work around when using this Tojo. And then she also gives a passive light attack up for the party as well, which is really nice. Now, the one thing I do want to say within this banner is that, of course, getting this Tojo is going to be very important for light teams. And then you're also given a somewhat attacker, the same way we have Kanzaki currently in the game, where she's able to basically nuke everything. Although she is a blaster, she is basically an attacker at heart, and that's going to be the same thing we look at when it comes to Karin as well. She's going to be able to give herself a hit count buff, sadly only once, because you can't really keep this hit count buff for the most part, unless you can't keep it at all. So yes, you're gonna need Yingxia still if you want to have as much as possible, but she is going to give massive devastation if you have a fragile on the enemy. And then she also has another move as well that's going to allow you to get high devastation when you are using the regular common skill, and she also has this light attack up as well. The reason why this banner is so high value is because you're basically working towards the same team, and both can be used realistically if you pull them. Tojo being one of the better buffers for light, of course, and then Karin being a DPS that you can use as well if you end up pulling the Tojo, or if you don't, it's still a light attacker for the most part, even though she's considered a blaster. So realistically, if you want to work towards your light team, this is by far one of the highest value banners that you can look towards, especially if you have certain other characters. And these other characters are going to be ones like the SS2 Ruka, who is an AoE light unit. You're also looking at a character like SS1 Yuina, who is also a single target light unit. And then of course, we already saw we have our Karin as well, who is going to be a light damage dealer too. So if you want to build towards light, this banner is 100% a huge pickup for you, and something you should probably look forward to. Not only that, you're also going to be getting a bonus gauge for this banner as well. And as we've seen with the bonus gauge on the Yuina and Tama banner, this banner has, quite a bit of value because of it. Getting that SS ticket that has a chance of pulling one of those two characters is pretty cool. And you're also getting SS shards to be able to limit break whatever unit you want, which is really nice for the most part. Yuina's banner specifically, going onto that really quickly, this banner is nice, of course, because you are getting getting a dark AoE damage dealer, which is very strong. The only problem is it does have the Tama with it, which sadly makes it a little hit or miss, because this Tama, although really nice, you're able to get the full team heal, you have a healing over time, and you can also give skill points to light units. There's not many cases where you're going to be using her, especially if you have Mua already, or you have someone like Aoi, which that kind of hurts her value if you have either of those two units. If you don't, then hey, she's a really good healer for the most part, but if you do, it kind of subtracts from her value, which does suck quite a bit. So this banner specifically, Yuina's banner, if you're looking for a dark attacker, this is going to be your banner. Otherwise, the light units, which are of course the Tojo, which of course are the Karen, are going to be pretty high value if you are working towards a light team, or your team is already, or your box is already light oriented. There is a future character that some of you may want to build towards, because I know a lot of people are really excited for that collab, which is going to be the Kanade that is going to be light. So she is light, and if you want her best team or her best buffers, Tojo is basically it. This is just so that you can future proof yourself if you're looking forward to pulling this Kanade. And then basically looking at the other banners as well, we are seeing that of course Yuina is our dark attack unit. If you want to build towards dark, if you already have Iroha, this is a pretty good pull. But realistically, the next banner that we should expect inside this celebration or very soon should be the Megumi. This Megumi is going to be towards fire dedicated boxes, or those who have fire teams. So if you have anything like the Ruka that I've been begging for, or any of the other fire units in the game, then that might be your better case pull. Because being able to have someone like, let's say Yotsuha, you have anybody else that helps with fire, this Megumi is going to be very strong, especially if you have an attacker that is a fire unit. This is going to be giving you not only of course an attack up, which realistically you'll have someone like Psycho, so you don't have to use this for the most part, but you are not only going to get a fire attack up from her passive, but realistically you're going to get the stronger fire zone, which is very, very good. And not only that, you're going to get a 2-turn single target fire defense down, which is really strong, and I think a little bit better than Tojo's field, just because this is going to be its own separate defense down. And having this and then another defense down, and then you're using someone like Saika to give you your crit rate and crit damage, something you're already doing, this is a much better fielder for those that have a fire team, or those that have a fire oriented box. So there are going to be some split paths that some people are going to be looking towards at the current moment, because of the units that are coming out very close together. So if you are building towards light, or you're looking towards light units in the future like this Kanade, Tojo and Karen's banner are going to be super high value for you, because this is pretty much getting all that you need for the light team. Yuina is still our dark attacker. If you're building towards that, if you have Iroha, then this Yuina is going to be a pretty good pull. And then realistically, for those that have a fire team, fire oriented box, this Megumi is going to be really amazing for y'all, because it gives you the new fire zone for the more powered up version, and then you also get the single target fire defense down, which I think this is a really good buff to have, especially one that's 2 turns, so you have more time to be able to debuff without using overdrive, which I think is really freaking good. So other than that, that's pretty much it when it comes to talking about all the banners that are around what we have right now, and also the upcoming Tojo and Karen banner. I can't believe we ended up getting this banner as soon as we did, because they were not supposed to be on our list of characters that we were waiting for. We're still waiting for Angel Beats, we're still waiting for Sharo and Veridica, so there's just a bunch of other banners that were supposed to be out in this time frame that they just decided to just pop these guys here alongside the Megumi, which I think is kind of crazy. But other than that, that's gonna be it for this video. Let me know what y'all guys are going to pull for, and other than that, thank you guys for watching. See you on the next one, and peace.